And part two. Well, let's see. After the 2006 insanity of that, I kind of took a short break. 2000, towards the end of 2007, I'm just like, well, it's gonna be 2008 soon. I might as well try eHarmony. I've never tried that before, and I've heard great stuff about it. They should have said that, yeah, there's a lot of crazy people on this site as well, but I didn't know it at first. Basically, I started talking to this person. She lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I figured, hey, this is a pretty average, laid-back town. She said she was in the hospital for a few days for some medical conditions. We talked back and forth. I was saying, well, I hope you get better. She got out of the hospital. We started talking more. Talking on eHarmony then led to eventually AIM, which eventually led to telephone call, and then we decided, well, we should meet each other sometime. So the next week we arranged it where she would pick me up and take me back to her place since she didn't like Baltimore for some whatever reason. So we went back to her place. She was a good cook. Her brother was interesting. He didn't really say much, and his name was also Andrew, which was kind of odd, considering well, I'm Andrew and your brother's name is Andrew. Interesting. They lived together since she only worked at this store in Pennsylvania called Turkey Hill, which is essentially like a convenience store kind of thing. And yeah, we think we hit it off pretty well. We didn't have exactly a lot in common, but we both enjoyed video games and music, and we both enjoyed being around each other, so I figured, hey, that should be a good relationship then. She was very affectionate. She got a bit angry about just random things. She had a bit of a temper that I was willing to not really care too much about that. So anyway, time passed, and we went and looked at rings. Didn't really have much intention to get engaged. I was thinking about it, hence why I looked at the rings. And then we went on a camping trip with me, her, and the family, and that turned out okay, but she kind of turned weird on me then. And then not too long after that, she's like, well, you know what? Like, I'm breaking up with you. I'm like, why? It's like, I don't love you anymore. I'm like, what? You don't love me anymore? How can you just not love somebody? So I got really upset, and so my convention was coming up soon afterwards, and I went to the anime convention for the first time in years, and I started cosplaying. I dressed up as the anime character Alexander Anderson from Hellsing. If anybody knows, it's crazy Catholic priest. I even bleached my hair. Yes, I am dedicated. And a huge nerd. But yeah, anyway, so I was hanging out with a bunch of people that I just met, and I met a lot of awesome friends that are still my friends to this day. Whoever's watching it, any of my friends, I love you guys. And so the person in Pennsylvania was texting me, and it's just like, I'm sorry, all this other stuff. It's like, I got a surprise for you when you come back. It's like, I'd really like to talk to you. I'm like, well, can it wait? I'm at the convention. And so I told her I'd call her back. I did. She was really upset, and she was like, well, you can just go have fun, because I can see that I'm not wanted. I'm like, I'm not ignoring you. I'm having fun with my friends. What's wrong with that? And so, come to find out, after the convention, her mom called me. It's like, can you get the time off? I'm like, why? It's like, well, we're gonna go to New York and we're gonna be on Jerry Springer. What? And then and then the girl calls me and says that, oh yeah, I wanted to surprise you, but I got everything picked out. The wedding rings are all paid off and everything, and yeah, we're gonna get married on Jerry Springer. No, we're not. We are not getting married on Jerry Springer. I am not marrying anyone on Jerry Springer. Not just against you. That's just ridiculous and slightly creepy. She's like, well, why? I like Jerry Springer. That's nice, but Marriage on television, just no. Especially Jerry Springer. What the hell? That was the most bizarre, one of the most bizarre things that ever had occurred in my dating experiences. So yeah, I just, nope. So I broke up with her after she got back with me, and I dated somebody else from the convention, but that didn't turn out well because she said I was too emotional and she was too busy. Well, wait, you go to college and you play Magic. Oh, that's right, I'm getting ignored for Magic cards. And then she's like, I don't want to date anymore, but we can still, you know, be romantic. And then I come to find out that she actually ended up getting a boyfriend who's like in their 40s. That was odd. Apparently I wasn't old enough, even though she was a couple years younger than me. It's like, apparently she wanted somebody that was like her dad. That was really strange. Kind of reminds me of the time years back before her when someone broke up with me. It's like, oh, it's not you. You just remind me of my brother. After we kissed. That I will never know. And so I dated somebody after her, 2009. This girl in the airport had a big crush on me, and she was actually going to leave her boyfriend for me and move in with me. And that happened, and things kind of happened, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to marry this person, even though I was with them for like 9 months, and I didn't really see anything really being anything past what we were at, and I didn't really know how to break up with her, and it was a confusing time in that year. And so after that, I stupidly started talking to somebody again. This time they had cancer. And lo and behold, me, being the person who rescues the damsels in distress, or people that need help, started talking to her. She said that she had cancer. I felt really bad. I'm just like, well, you know, if you want someone to talk to, I'm here. So we started talking. We found out that we had a good deal in common. The only thing was, she lived in California. I said, oh, that's fine. If I get some time, I can, come see you. And so we started talking more, and things slightly got serious, and I asked her out. So New Year's came along, and I went to visit her, and things really went really well. For some odd reason, I proposed to her. I still don't know why I did. I guess, you know, just blinded, because she was like a super nice person, so I thought. Later, I find out that whole cancer thing was a giant lie. And here's how. Basically, she went to the beach. She forgot her cell phone charger. It died. Couldn't talk to her, so I tried calling her parents, asking her, well, when she's getting back. They're like, who are you? I'm like, really? Who am I? Well, I'm dating your daughter. So I thought, it's like, well, she's never told us about you. Really? I'm like, well, did you know she had cancer? Like, it's like, well, I know she has cancer, so I hope she feels better. And they're like, we didn't know she had cancer. I'm like, you're kidding me. They're like, no. She's never mentioned you at all either. She's at the beach with her boyfriend. I'm like, wait, boyfriend? So I called her. I was really, really pissed off. I was so pissed off. I called my friend at the time, and literally, she was afraid to get near the phone. That's how pissed off I was. I let her have it. I'm just like, how could you lie to me about cancer? What kind of heartless person are you? She's like, oh, I'm a terrible person. Like, nobody loves me, so I do this to gain sympathy. I'm like, well, your plan would have worked if it wasn't for the fact that I don't let things sit by, and if something doesn't feel right, I'll look up and I'll find out what's going on. How can you lie about cancer, though? People out there are dying of cancer, and you're just like, oh, I'm just lying about, you know, I have cancer, but not really. And come to find out that she's been cheating on me and sleeping around with her ex-boyfriend the whole freaking time. That was just like, wow. And what if probably never dated for the next couple of years if it wasn't for my good friend. She really helped me that night, and I was grateful to her. Hell, I almost said I love you on the phone, because we knew each other for 5 years, and we hung out a lot, and I figured that, you know, I started gaining feelings for her. But later on, she told me that she had feelings for me for about a year or two. So we start dating, and things are really good at first, and then we grow apart. We start to grow apart. I notice that this is happening. I tell her about it, and she's just like, well, I don't think so. We get in a couple of fights. You know, it's what normal couples do. About a year and a half ago, I got diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. For people that don't know what that is, it's actually a mild form of autism, but mine's in the social sense. So I'm not great with social things. So if it doesn't seem like I'm expressing myself that well, that is why. So she finds that out from me, and she's like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't matter what happens, I won't leave you because of that. Ha! So I believed her. And then it turns out that she's like, I can't take this anymore, you're too emotional and everything, and I'm just like, well, I'm dealing with a lot from work. And she also has me up to this high regard as, well, I need to do this, 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 and this. I'm just like, what's wrong with me just being the way I am? She really wasn't affectionate. She didn't know how to show emotion properly. I don't think she really could handle a relationship at all. I didn't know at the time, but I guess the time that I was with her was just, I really loved her. I gave her everything, and she left me because she's like, I can't take this anymore. It's too much. It's like, you're emotional. I'm like, well, apparently emotions are a bad thing. It's like, you've changed. I'm like, well, I was taking Prozac, it didn't help, and there were slight side effects, but it's not my fault. It's not like, oh, I'm taking this medicine in hopes that I'll get worse. I wanted to get better, and I didn't know I had. My therapist didn't know I had Asperger's at the time. So, long story short, she left me because I have Asperger's. Yep, I have a disability, and she couldn't handle it. So yeah, that was my relationship stories in 2 videos. Sorry they were so long. I just felt I needed to get that out. Have a good day.